Hey there folks, my name is Empty Berry and welcome to today's episode of Lore to Go. In this episode, we will be discussing the Proving Ground strike. This strike premiered during Season of the Chosen and involves the Guardian fighting through hordes of Cabal to fight a Cabal champion. But why is this champion so important? What is this big tank we are entering and why is it on Nessus? And what is all this banter going on between Zavala and a female Cabal? All that and more will be answered in today's video, so let's jump into it. To understand this strike, we first need to establish some background. The female voice you hear during the strike is the Cabal Empress Keitel, who is the current leader of all the Cabal forces within the universe. Recently, their homeworld was lost to the Hive God of War, Xivu Arath. Following this loss, Keitel realized that she needed to align all of the Cabal's resources against the Hive in order to avoid future disasters. Based on this, she traveled with her fleet to the Sol System to reclaim the remnants of the Red Legion that had been stationed there since the Red War. Upon arriving, she also came to the decision to end the war with humanity, believing that the cost of the conflict against Guardians was too high when they needed to be thinking about striking back against the Hive. Keitel arranged a meeting with Zavala and Osiris, with an offer to end the conflict and have them join the Cabal Empire in order to defeat their common enemies, the Hive and the Black Fleet. However, due to pressure from her advisors not to seem weak, she stipulated that they would serve under her as part of her war council. Zavala plainly refused, stating that Guardians bow to no one. After the failed negotiations, Keitel began reinstating an ancient Cabal tradition known as the Rite of Proving, which had her warriors compete in combat for the honor of becoming a part of her war council. The Vanguard learned of this and decided to send Guardians to intercept these events, killing off potential champions and hammering Keitel's efforts in the system. After weeks of this stalemate, Zavala would issue a challenge for one final Rite of Proving, with each side selecting a champion to battle. The winner would set the terms of a Cabal and Vanguard treaty, and effectively gain control of the loser's forces. This Rite of Proving is the stage for the Proving Ground strike. Prior to this event, the Cabal had landed an Imperial land tank, the Halphus Electus, onto Nessus. This tank served as a mobile command center, as well as being used to grind up the surface of the planet in order to forge Cabal weaponry. Keitel had chosen her champion, and he resided deep within the tank, awaiting the Guardians that Zavala sent as his champion. In the hopes of weakening the Guardians prior to the battle, Keitel stationed many Cabal in the exterior and interior of the tank. These Cabal had sworn themselves to the right, and were determined to spend their lives in a manner to help their champion succeed. They even employed the use of tanks and interceptors within the Halphus Electus as a means to slow down the Guardians. However, they were mostly unsuccessful, with the Guardians entering the tank and beginning to work their way to the champion, slaying many Cabal in their path. Along the way, they also sabotaged certain systems within the tank in an effort to stop its advance across Nessus. This angered Keitel, as the tank was sacred and this was not part of the Rite of Proving. After a drawn-out engagement, the Guardians finally entered the ceremonial battlefield, where they met Keitel's champion, Ignovun. Ignovun was the commander of Keitel's fleet and the strongest of her warriors. During a grand ceremony to anoint him as her champion, Keitel gave him his weapon in silver armor, which shone brightly in the light. His helm was crafted by the Scions and was said to contain their very will, which allowed him to harness solar psionic abilities, such as producing fireballs to track and destroy his enemies. Even with these gifts, Ignovun felt doubt prior to the battle, though he believed that the Vanguard must have mortality brought to them if the Cabal were to triumph. This thought steeled him against his coming foes, and as they entered his chamber, he attacked with all of his might. A mighty battle was waged, and Ignovun proved to be a fearsome warrior, harnessing the power of the Scions and years of combat experience with great skill. However, this was not enough to stop the Guardians, who after a drawn-out conflict were able to defeat him. At the completion of the Rite of Proving, Keitel agreed to honor their terms and meet with Zavala to sign a treaty. This would eventually lead to the end of the conflict between the Cabal and humanity. In the time since then, Keitel has proven to be an honorable ally who is unwaveringly loyal to the Vanguard. There is also no doubt that the Cabal forces will be instrumental in the coming conflicts against the forces of the darkness. That story will unfold in time, and we will be here to explore it with you when the time comes. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Lore to Go. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about this strike, or any future topics you'd like to see covered. That's all for today though. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.